Oh, hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, and we are back with another UFC fight card coming off of possibly the worst fight night I've seen in many years. I would watch every card from back in 2006 to 2013, almost every card, maybe skipping one or two. And then since 2018, 17-18, when I fully got back into MMA after my long break, I watched pretty much every single card. I think I only missed one card, which ended up being an all-finish card. I can say of all the cards I've seen, all fight nights, I mean everything, last week's got to be one of the worst. It's got to be bad. So I feel that's the main reason a lot of people have been talking about the hype has been dying down for 305. I'm hyped for it, but I feel a lot of people aren't because of that. We've had a lot of stinkers, and to be perfectly honest, since 300 we have not really had a great card from top to bottom, honestly. As much as I complained about 300 prior, it ended up being a very good card. 301 sucked, 302 was only good and during the main event, really, truly. 303 had some good moments. 304 was butt. So regardless, I'm excited. There's a lot of decent matchups here, but then there's also a lot of sacrificial lambs, which I feel could lead to either really good highlights or just mediocre fights. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people on death's row on this card, and you'll see what I mean eventually, but we're looking at it. A lot of bad blood between Dricus Defends and Adesanya, and I think this should be a very good card, hopefully. At the very least, I believe truly that the main event's going to be good. But let's get into it. Let's look at the first fight on the card. the locked character, Stuart Nicole versus Jesus Aguilar. So, this is not a sacrificial lamb, but I do think I'm going to be leaning towards the Aussie Stuart Nicole. He seems like just overall a better and more complete fighter. I like his striking and kicking game. He feels like a very tactical fighter. He doesn't feel like a brawler. He doesn't feel like a guns blazer. He doesn't feel like a tactician or a tactician one aspect. He just feels like he's really good at just picking his shots, picking his spots, and then making it a very chess matchy kind of fight, which is good. Jesus Aguilar, on the other hand, I can see him just blitzing. He's not like a balls to walls fighter, but he definitely is on the fast-paced end. Is he the one who butt striked Shannon Ross? No, he's the one who one-hit KO'd him. I don't estimate that to him having a ton of power. I think that was his only knockout. Yeah, don't just look at his one-hit KO over Shannon Ross and think he's got a ton of power. He's more of a submission guy. Shannon Ross is just garbage. But yeah, I'm ultimately going to be leaning towards Stuart Nicole. I'm going to be taking him by decision, but not super high into it. Let's see who is the favorite and who's the underdog. Wow, Stuart Nicole minus 230. I don't know about that. Song Kanon versus Ricky Glenn. Ricky Glenn is going to be moving up in weight. This is an easy, should be an easy spot. I don't know. Song Kanon should win this fight easily, but there have been a lot of moments where we've been, oh, this should happen easily, reminding me why this is such a volatile sport. You think I would have learned my lesson after back in the day when I thought Matt Serra would never beat GSP. GSP should win this easily. Juliana Pena, she's got no chance against Amanda Nunes. She should win this. Nunes should win this easily. By the way, I'd like to mention I bet money in Pena, but not a lot, but just a little, and end up winning a lot. But yeah, whatever the case is, Song Kanon should win this fight easily against Ricky Glenn. I think it'll be a decision because I don't trust Song Kanon's finishing ability, but don't be surprised if Song Kanon somehow loses by something random or somehow, some way. But otherwise, Ricky Glenn, he's been finished quite a lot. He's been finished his last two fights, had a draw. He knocked out Joaquin Silva, which is good. And he got beaten up by Aguilar, Miles Jury. He's been losing to garbage, and he's been beating garbage other than Joaquin Silva, who I think is pretty decent. And a draw against Dawson, which is bizarre as well, too, looking back. But yeah, I'm just not high on Ricky Glenn. I think as well, too. Keep in mind, they're going to Perth, Australia. It's not It's still kind of far. It's not that far for Kenan. China, it's not that far from it. But Ricky Glenn going all the way out to Australia. There's gonna be that jet lag. That's like I don't know. I'm just thinking Song Kenan easily. Oh God. Oh, he's still in the Reebok shorts. Tom Nolan going up against the younger Reyes brother, Alex Reyes, younger brother to Dominic Reyes. This is a sacrificial lamb. Alex Reyes is coming all the way out from the U.S. in front of a home crowd against Nolan to just get slaughtered. Also, I didn't look at the odds for the last fight. I keep forgetting to do that. Song Kenan's a favorite, of course, minus not 182. But, I got a sneak preview at the odds for this fight. Tom Nolan is a massive favorite, as he should be. This is a march to death for Reyes. Reyes is... You know what? I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. Why would I sugarcoat something? I'm going to give you guys like is. He's garbage. You know the last time he had a win? 2017. He got into the UFC just off his brother's name alone, because keep in mind, 2017 Reyes was pretty high back then. Like, they were really liking Reyes. He got in there, lost to Mike Perry, lost to Charlie Campbell. Like, he literally has 2 losses in the UFC, and they are 6 years apart. It's been 6 years since his last win. 6 years since his debut. He lost his debut. He's being, like, I don't know why they don't just cut the guy. I guess they put him a 3-fight contract. So, hey, let's shove him on a pay-per-view to get killed in front of killed in front of Nolan and his fans. But just to reiterate, though, Tom Nolan is a minus 1350 I'm seeing. I'm seeing him as low as 1100. But I'm seeing him as high as 1400. I didn't even like Bo Nickel at minus 1000. If you remember back. I did not like that. I sure as hell don't like Tom Nolan at that. He got knocked out by Nicholas Mota. Now, Nicholas Mota hits hard, yes. But he got knocked out by Nicholas Mota. Like, Tom Nolan should absolutely win this. Only way Reyes wins this by some freak, like his brother should have won his fight. Dominic Reyes should not have won his fight, but somehow he magically did. Maybe the Alex Reyes gets some magical voodoo, whatever. Whatever the case is, this could just go bad. Don't bet this fight. This could go so bad for you, because the only value is probably going to be Nolan at round 1 KO, which should happen. I think will happen, but might not. But that's going to be probably like minus 200. No. Nolan is not some kind of prospect I'm laying that kind of juice on. People are just really, really expecting an awful performance from Alex freaking Reyes. Ugh. Hey, look, another sacrificial lamb. Jack Jenkins is going up against Herbert Burns. Jack Jenkins, I think, is a pretty solid prospect overall. He's got really good leg kicks. He's got really good power to him. And Herbert Burns, another younger brother, the younger brother of Gilbert Burns, is not... He lacks a crucial aspect of MMA. He's talented. He's skilled. He's got really, really good jiu-jitsu. His cardio is pretty meh. But the main thing I've seen from Herbert Burns is, my God, he has no heart. That's the main thing his brother's known for. Like, yeah, Burns may get, like, jabbed for one hit to oblivion, but the thing is, he'll keep fighting till the very last jab. Herbert Burns, you're going to put money on Herbert Burns, and you're just going to see him gas out after round 1 and see his brother pick him up and just set him on the stool. It's just, no. Herbert Burns, he's going all the way from Brazil to meet Jack Jenkins. I believe they're actually not in Brazil, Florida. I believe he lives in Florida with Burns, does he not? Whatever the case is, he's going all the way to Aussie just to get massacred by Jack Jenkins. Jack Jenkins is coming off a very bad injury against Mariscal. I will say that. I believe he like completely broke his arm, and that was on the last Aussie card. So he has lost in front of the Aussie crowd, but that was a freak accident. It wasn't a freak. Jose Mariscal knew he had a good takedown. Whatever the case is, Jack Jenkins in this spot should be good. He has to be wary of Burns in the first round, because like I said, he is talented. He is dangerous in the first round, but then he's just going to gas out, give out heart. Jenkins needs to really focus on those leg kicks, which he's very good. He will destroy Burns. If it gets past the first round, expect a finish. I'm not taking the decision for this. I'm really not. I'm going to be taking Jenkins by TKO. Casey O'Neill versus Luana Santos. Not a sacrifice. Luana Santos, pretty decent actually. Casey O'Neill, on the other hand, Aussie, but man, she was overhyped. Man, there was a lot of hype on Casey O'Neill that led to absolute freaking ditch. I think Casey O'Neill is good, and I think the home crowd advantage is going to help her. Initially, I was writing Luana Santos by decision or by a submission, but the more I'm thinking about it, I don't think she's gonna get a finish. I don't think Santos is gonna get a finish. Something just screaming out at me. And if it's a decision, she needs to beat her up bad, which she can do, to be able to get a W over Casey O'Neill and Aussie. Every shot Casey O'Neill is gonna land, the Australian crowd is gonna freak. Every shot Luana Santos lands, they're gonna be dead silent. That's swayed fans and judges before. I'm gonna be going with this is a hard one. Let's see. I'm gonna go probably against the grain because dog or pass. Wow, Casey O'Neill's a dog. So yeah, I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna be going with Casey O'Neill to get it done by decision, but not a confident pick. Definitely not something I'd put money on. I wouldn't put money on any of these fights. No, Jenkins by KO. Okay, never mind. I didn't look at the odds for Jenkins. Excuse me. Is that accurate? Where is it? Yeah, okay, no. Don't bet any of these fights. Here's a fight you can definitely bet. Josh Culibao versus Ricardo Ramos. Josh Culibao. Not a ton on this one. Culibao, he's a pretty hard hitter. That's the most I have on him. Ramos, his problem is he has negative fight IQ. And you know how I feel about guys with poor fight IQ. I rip them apart, and I do a very good job at picking against them. Looking at you, Menafield. Looking at you. Ricardo Ramos, he just walks into gillies. He's walked into 2 gillies against Jourdain and Rosa. He's been knocked out by Murphy. He's just not smart. I think he's got talent. I think he's got some good power to him. I like his boxing. It's crisp. But I think Culibao is slightly better and slightly smarter. So I'm going to be going Culibao. I'm going to be going Culibao with... I really want to go TKO. I really want to go TKO because he does have some good power to him. I don't think Culibao is going to take the 3-fight skid, but he has not got a knockout in quite some time, so I'm just going to go decision. Junior Tafa versus another potential sacrificial lamb who is also a brother. Except, is Walter the older brother of Walker, or is Johnny Walker the older brother? I don't know. And he's also facing another brother. Junior Tafa versus Walter Walker. Man, lots of brothers. And this time it's brother versus brother. Junior Tafa, I like a lot in the spot. Mainly because I was burnt so bad on Walker. I was looking at Walker, taping him. I picked him to beat Dricus Defends. Oh my god, that was bad. That was bad. It was only once I gave my pick. No, I think it was like halfway through. I realized, oh wait, he's Johnny Walker's brother? Oh no. If you're a fan of the channel, you know I'm just absolutely garbage at picking Johnny Walker fights. Garbage. I just he's cursed. I'm cursed with this man, and I hate him. I hate him. And when I realized, oh no, it's his brother, I should not pick him. Lo and behold, I picked him. Lo and behold. And that wasn't even just because of like I liked how he was. It's also because, like, honestly, Dricus Defends was bad. Dricus Defends is bad. And he lost. Like, he's a guy who's all about takedowns and holding you and lay and pray. He's literally a lay and pray that does a bad job of getting you to the ground to lay on you, and it is a bad job of praying at you. He seems like he doesn't really want to fight. He's the opposite of Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker has poor fight IQ, and he's a little too wild, but he's got really good physicality and striking. Where is that with Walker? 6'6", and he's got like I think he has like 84-inch reach or 80-inch reach or something like that, something crazy, and he doesn't use it. Junior Tafa and both the Tafa brothers have a problem with wrestlers, so that's something that worries me. It does worry me, but also Dricus Defends, like, he couldn't get him down to the ground and keep him there for a meaningful amount of time, which tells me I think Junior Tafa can keep it standing. Parker Porter really tried to get him down and he couldn't, but Marcos Rogerio de Lima pieced him apart with leg kicks. I don't think Walter Walker is going to be having that. And then Muhammad Usman, he also lost by like lay and praise. So I don't know. It's kind of iffy for me. I'm going to be picking Tafa with this one, Tafa by KO, but it's a little worrisome. It's just I'm going to bank on the fact that Walker's not that good, and I think he could get touched. Hopefully he has the Walker chin. And now we're on the main card. We have the return of the Leech, Li Jingliang, versus Carlos Prates. You gotta go Prates. Right here. Prates is the better striker. He is very good when it comes to kicks. And Li Jingliang is coming off a spinal surgery, I believe it was. It's been 2 years, right? Has it not been 2 years since Leech has fought? Jesus Christ, yeah, oh my God. 279 was in 2022, Jesus. But yes, it's been quite, oh my God, Hamzat demolishing him was in 2021. But yeah, it's been a long time since Leech has fought. He's not been active. He's not been picking up W's, and coming off a surgery and going up against Prates, who I do think is actually pretty good. He pieced apart Radke, pieced apart Trevin Giles. I think he's solid. I think Carlos Prates is a good striker. I definitely think he's live by KO. Leech though is tough. Leech though is very tough. I can't remember the last time he was knocked out. He was never knocked out. That's why he's only been submitted. But I think the surgery might do him nasty. So I'm going to be leading Prates by TKO. Haphazardly so. I keep forgetting to look at these odds. What's wrong with me? Junior Tafa is a slight favorite, by the way. And Carlos Prates is a minus 340 favorite. So yeah. Yeah, definitely you got to take it by TKO, I think. I think that's a good pick for Carlos Prates. Also, Leech won his last fight. I don't care what anyone says. That was robbery. And then on to the next fight. Tai Tuivasa. Not a sacrificial lamb, but they're probably just praying, dear God, that Tai can get a W in his hometown. Tai Tuivasa versus Jairzinho Frozenstrike. Everything is screaming at me to pick Tafa. Everything. Or Tuivasa. I know, if you follow me, last year, I picked Tuivasa to beat Volkov. He did not. I said hometown, I said knockout, I said no. But Frozenstrike has no grappling. He does have good cardio kickboxing. There's a chance this could play out like the Shamil Gaziev fight, but I don't think Tai is that bad. I think Gaziev is pretty bad, to be honest with you, but I think Tai can land the shot. Yes, and I'm gonna assume he's probably a big underdog. Let's see. Oh, only plus 185. I thought it was gonna be in the plus 200s, plus 300s, honestly. But the thing is, the Jairzinho Frozenstrike freezes. If you just blitz him, you can take him out. And Tai Tuivasa will blitz you. Tai Tuivasa knows he needs to blitz you. This is it. He's cut after this. If he loses, he's cut. Simple as that. Tai Tuivasa needs to pick up the W's home. Volkov is a very technical kickboxer. Very good. I underestimate him. But I know Frozenstrike. Then again, I picked Gaziev to beat him, so it's hard to say, but I'm going to be leaning Tai Tuivasa by the KO, honestly, because we've seen Biggie Boy get into brawls and get knocked out. I think he's going to try and play a kickboxing game, but if Tai can just be smart and just don't be afraid, he will hit you, but Frozenstrike does not hit as hard as Derek Lewis. He does not hit as hard as Sergey Pavlovich. If Tuivasa could just weather that storm and land that shot, I really like Tuivasa's elbows. He always has good elbows. I think he could take out Rozenstruik. Hopefully he does. I would just want to see a W for Tuivasa in his hometown. We all want to see Tuivasa win. I always pick Tuivasa. I remember back at a time where I picked against him like twice or 3 times in a row or something like that. Can't remember. Yes, I did. I picked him to lose against Spivak, Struve, and Hunsucker. And I said, what the hell is wrong with me? I'm picking him to win every fight now. And then Hardy, Augusto Sakai, and Derek Lewis, he all hit for me. And since then, I've always been picking Tuivasa. And he's now on a 4-fight skid. He can't lose 5 in a row, but he can. Rozenstruik can outpoint him and even knock him out. Rozenstruik does hit hard, make no mistake, but he can freeze. So, give me Tai Tuivasa by KO, but oof. And on to the fights that I have. No, not you yet. The fights I have slides for. We're going to be looking at a lightweight matchup between Matheus Gamera versus Dan Hooker. All right, Matheus is going to be 33 years of age, 24 wins, 2 losses, 8 knockouts, 5 submissions, 5'10" in terms of height, southpaw stance, 70.5-inch reach disadvantage, a 5.28 takedown average, a 59.41% significant strike accuracy, minus 300 favorite. Significant wins were RDA, Rafael Fiziev, Jalen Turner, and Arman Saryukin. He did win that fight. Dan Hooker, 34 years of age, 23 wins, 12 losses. Wow. 11 knockouts, 7 submissions, 6 foot on the dot. Switch stance, 75-inch reach advantage, a 0.79 takedown average, a 55.99% significant strike accuracy, plus 240 underdog. Significance over Jalen Turner, Claudio Puelles, Nasrat Hakpras, and Paul Felder. This is a hard fight for me. I like both guys a lot, actually. If you know, I am a Matheus fan. A lot of it just because it's Polski. And I'm also a Dan Hooker fan. Yes, I've picked against Dan Hooker in all of his last goddamn fights. All of them. I keep picking against Hooker just because he looked so goddamn bad after that fight against Dustin Poirier, which, by the way, if you also don't know me, Dan Hooker versus Dustin Poirier is my favorite fight of all time. All time. But when I saw after Dan Hooker had lost that fight, I thought he left a piece of himself in there, and he did. He goddamn did. But he's been looking better, and I see a lot of people. There's a lot of love on Matheus Gamera. I don't know. I definitely think that is too chalky. Matheus, he can get caught, he can get cracked, and he will panic takedown a little too much. He's not as tactical with his takedowns as someone like an Islam Makhachev who Dan Hooker lost to. I can see him taking Dan Hooker down. No matter how this fight plays out, win or lose, whoever you pick, you're going to look stupid the other way. Like, no matter the outcome, we're going to look stupid going, oh, of course Matheus is going to hold him down for 3 rounds and even maybe get a submission. Of course that's going to happen. Or we're going to sit there and go, oh, of course Dan Hooker is going to piece apart Matheus. Striking's not that good. It's not. Dan Hooker historically has decent takedown defense, actually. 80%. Yeah. 80%. We have this image in our brains of when he fought Islam Makhachev and how he just got absolutely dominated on the ground by him, but we're failing to realize, like, well, at the time he was just a ranked lightweight, but now we know Islam is not only the champion of the division, but the pound for pound best fighter in the sport. So it makes sense that he was able to do that to Dan Hooker, and it was a Dan Hooker on short notice. So part of me was, to be honest with you, leaning towards Dan Hooker, believe it or not. But I think I'm really talking myself into Dan Hooker, honestly. I really am. I'm just gonna say, don't don't bet on Mateusz Gamrot. Bet the over in this fight. I definitely think this fight's going to go over. No matter who wins, I think it's going to be a decision. As it stands right now, oh man, I just easily see though Mateusz Gamrot just going out there holding Hooker. He could even do like what a Bilal Muhammad or like a Merab did to Petr Yan. Dan Hooker will be so focused on the takedown that Mateusz will start winning in the striking aspects. Despite Dan Hooker being the better striker, he'll be so worried about getting taken down and laying shots on him. But also after Dan Hooker beat Jalen Turner, I sat there and went, I should stop picking against him. Well, I'm just going to go with the guy I like more, which is Gamrot. But make no mistake, in terms of actuality, I'm abstaining from who I'm going to bet on this. But I'll tell you, take the over. I just definitely don't like Mateusz at that high odds. And on to the co-main event of the evening. The return of Kai Kara-France and everybody's new favorite fighter, apparently, Steve Erceg. So, Kai Kara-France is going to be 31 years of age, 24 wins, 11 losses, 11 knockouts, 3 submissions, 5'4", terms of height, orthodox stance, 69-inch reach advantage, a 0. Really has the advantage, wow. A 0.63 takedown average, a 43.97% significant strike accuracy, plus 180 underdog. Significant wins over Askar Askarov, Cody Garbrandt, and Tyson Nam. Steve Erceg is going to be 29 years of age, 12 wins, 2 losses, 2 knockouts, 6 submissions, 5'8" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 68-inch reach disadvantage. The reason why I was so shocked was because of height discrepancy. A 1.24 takedown average, a 53.04 significant strike accuracy, minus 220 favorite. Significant wins over Matt Schnell, Alessandro Costa, and David Dvorak. And those are only 3 wins in the UFC. I don't know why so many people are on Erceg. I know why so many people are on Erceg. It's because he had a really good performance against the champ when a fight he should have been in, but he looked pretty good. But again, Pantoja fights down to his opponents, but he did look good. Because of that, though, everyone I think is now a little bit overrating him, to be honest with you. Steve Erceg still new in the game. Kai Kara-France, on the other hand, is a established fighter in the UFC. He's coming off a loss in quotations, but that is a hardcore robbery. Kai Kara-France definitely beats Amir Abazi. Before that was a title fight against Brandon Moreno, a fight he was doing very well until Moreno found the shot he needed. Before that, he was doing really good, beating a lot of guys, knocking out people. Kai Kara-France, I think, is probably one of the hardest hitters in flyweight, probably the hardest hitter now that Figueiredo has left the division. I know, Steve Erceg came off a really good knockout over Matt Schnell. It's Matt Schnell. It's Matt Schnell. I think I could knock out Matt Schnell, to be honest with you. Before that, decision wins over Costa and Dvorak. He's more of a submission guy. And we know that Kai Kara-France, he does good against like guys who specialize in grappling. Look at the Askarov fight. Look at the Albazi fight. Yes, most of the fight he kept standing. And if it stays standing, Steve Erceg has tighter boxing, but Kai Kara, it's like boxer versus kickboxer. You want to lean towards the guy with the more diverse arsenal and the guy with a little bit more experience. Yes, there's a long layoff for Kai Kara-France. There's a long layoff for all the city kickboxing boys, the top 3 here. Maybe I should just do all city kickboxing. I don't know. Whatever the case is, I think Kai Kara-France is better in this matchup. I'm going to be picking Kai Kara-France. I like the guy. I also like him in this matchup. I think he's a more experienced fighter. I think striking-wise, he's a little bit more diverse. And if Erceg's going to focus on the grappling, I think Kai Kara-France is going to stuff him. So I don't know. I do know, though, I definitely think it should be closer. I think it should be a pick-em, but give me Kai Kara-France to get it done by decision, though. Decision. I will know, even though it is New Zealand and Australia, I do think Erceg will probably get the hometown nod. So if it goes decision, that's something to maybe be worried about. Not because, like I'm saying, judges corrupted, because I'm saying Erceg lands something. Oh! Kai Kara-France lands an 18-piece combo. Woo. And that is something that can sway the judges. So, give me Conqueror France decision, but haphazardly so. And on to the main event of the evening. Dricus Plessis versus Israel Adesanya for the middleweight belt. Dricus is going to be 30 years of age, 21 wins, 2 losses, 9 knockouts, 10 submissions. Yes, he has 2 fights that went the freaking distance. 6'1" in terms of height, switch stance, 76-inch reach, disadvantage, a 3 takedown average, a 52.03% significant strike accuracy, a plus 105 underdog. Significant wins over Sean Strickland, Robert Whittaker, Derek Brunson, and Brad Tavares. Israel Adesanya is going to be 35 years of age, 24 wins, 3 losses, 16 knockouts, not a damn submission to his name. 6'4" in terms of height, switch stance, 80-inch reach, advantage, a 0.05 takedown average, a 51.68% significant strike accuracy, a minus 125 favorite. Is he? Significant wins over Alex Pereira, Jared Cannonier, Robert Whittaker ×2, and Marvin Vettori. You could also expand it to quite a bit because, as hated as he is, Israel Adesanya has quite a lot of very good wins, such as Paulo Costa, Kelvin Gastelum, Anderson Silva, Derek Brunson, Brad Tavares as well. Another one over Marvin Vettori. I forgot to put 2, and Rob Wilkinson. Pretty much every win that Izzy has is a good win. There's not a single win on his UFC roster I'd say is meh, other than I kind of want to say Tavares at this point, and Wilkinson even then. He's since going to PFL has been looking decent. Whatever. I'm going to get this out the way. I'm an Izzy fan. If you know us, I'm an Izzy fan. I don't think Izzy's boring. He's only had 2 fights that I truly, genuinely think were horrible fights. Was the Romero fight and the Strickland fight. But then again, what's the common denominator between Strickland fight? Oh, Strickland always has awful fights. Because Strickland somehow made the Dricus Plessis fight boring, but okay. Otherwise, for every boring fight Izzy has had, he has at least 2 or 3 better fights back from his kickboxing days or his early UFC career. I personally really am an Izzy fan. But I will say this. A lot of people are picking against Dricus because they don't like his style, they really like Strickland, or they don't like I'm to preface this, I've picked Dricus in every single one of his UFC fights to win. And I've been right in all of them. He is a good cash cow for me. Then again, I only started betting him in the Tavares fight. But he has been a very notorious cash cow for me because I picked him every fight. I think maybe in the Till fight, I said I wanted Till to win, but I kind of acknowledged he probably wouldn't. You could look back. That's on there. That's on the channel. That's the first fight of his I covered. But I picked him to beat Brunson. I picked him to beat Whittaker. Yes, I picked him to beat Whittaker. And not only did I bet KO, I bet KO round 2. Fight me. I did bet him to beat Strickland. I did bet round 1 KO, but I also put a money line. But yes, I truly am not one of those guys who's just saying, oh, Dricus is ass. He looks bad. I'm not underrating Dricus. I am not a guy who underrates him because I'm always picking him and I'm always winning with him. But I'm leaning towards Israel Adesanya. Main reason being is I think he's got the style he needs to beat Dricus if he's on point. His last performance, I don't give a damn what you say. That's not Izzy. Yes, Strickland, we underrated him, and he looked amazing, but that is not the Israel Adesanya that fought Kelvin Gastelum, that fought even Jared Cannonier, Whittaker, boring fights, or even Vettori, or Alex Pereira, or anyone. That's not the normal Izzy. There was either injury or mental things going on, or the dog stuff got to him, whatever the case is. If Israel Adesanya could remove all that and fight like how he normally does, he should squeak by a decision. But something in my bones is telling me this fight won't go the distance, no matter who wins. I'm getting the same vibe I did with Dricus round 2 KO over Whittaker, and also, if you remember the channel, round 3 KO for Max Holloway against the Korean Zombie. I'm getting that same vibe for round 3 KO from Israel Adesanya. Main reason being, Leg kicks are going to be a great weapon. Dricus Duplessis has a very poor stance. I'm not going to say he's sloppy because he's very effective. He's a little sloppy, but he's very effective. It's not pretty to look at, but it's fun to watch. But that stance really opens him for leg kicks. And I definitely think Israel Adesanya will use that to a great weapon. And now Izzy has always been having problems with boxing, but if he tightens that up, crispy jabs are how you can beat Dricus. That's how Sean Strickland's really putting damage on him, with very crispy jabs. If Israel Adesanya can throw in crispy jabs, catch him on his blitz, same way Dricus caught Robert Whittaker, he can cause problems. Maybe even his hooks, his counter hooks could do very well as well too. I definitely can see a very aggressive Dricus Duplessis, Israel Adesanya counter-strike him. But, we thought, and I truly do believe that pressure is how Izzy really gets you. That's how he was able to get Alex Pereira, Paulo Costa, and Whittaker in the first fights. High pressure on him. What happened in the Strickland fight? Was it high pressure and defense coupled at the same time? I don't think Dricus has that, but Dricus does have the higher pressure, which could pose a problem to Izzy. It could also be an age thing. He's slowing down. Could also be a mental thing that you checked out or you thought, I don't know. Whatever the case is, Dricus Duplessis is probably one of his most dangerous matchups. If he does that shell thing he did against Alex Pereira, Dricus is going to see through that. I don't know. Like, he kept doing that against Strickland, and Strickland wasn't falling for it. I don't think people are going to fall for it again if he shells up like he did and plays possum. If Israel Adesanya could be intelligent and be more aggressive, be more offensive. If he's more offensive with his counters and strikes, he could catch some hits. He did get dropped for his first time in his last fight, so maybe his chin's starting to go. That could happen. But I definitely think if he's aggressive, he could land big shots on Dricus Duplessis. Cardio, a lot of people want to say Duplessis' cardio is not good. He went full rounds with Strickland, and he was throwing volume up until the very end. His cardio's fine. I think Izzy has better cardio, but it's fine. That's not going to be an issue. This is ultimately a dangerous fight. I'm not going to pay too much attention to the grappling of Dricus. It could be a problem, but I don't think it will. People forget how good Izzy's takedown defense is. 77%. Yeah. Dricus can pose problems, maybe get a takedown here and there, but I don't think Izzy will stay there. Unless you're bigger, heavier yawn. I think he'll stay standing most of the time. I do think Dricus wants to stand with him because that's where he'll actually have the most success. If his blitzes are successful and he mimics exactly what Strickland did to him, he could be extremely successful and honestly get a finish. I definitely think submission or KO are likely for Duplessis, and I think KO is highly likely for Adesanya. I don't see a decision for this fight. Ultimately, I think this will be a really good one. I got a good vibe about this. I wanted this fight last year. I wanted this fight a while. I wanted Dricus Duplessis to fight Izzy after the Brunson fight. I was like, dude, that's going to be a great matchup for him. We're finally getting it. It's for the belt. Belts have changed hands. It's so funny seeing that Dricus is the one with the belt. But yeah. Also, I do like both guys as well too. As you also follow the channel, I've been watching all of my favorite fighters lose a lot of horribly way, which is why I kind of feel like Dricus probably will win because, oh well, one of my favorite fighters losing. But only one that's won this year has literally been Tom and Max Holloway by knocking out another one of my favorite fighters, which was Justin Gaethje. But that's what leads me to believe that Dricus might win just because of my awful luck in that regard. But if this one happened first, I'd be fine with it because I do like Dricus, but it's the last one of my favorite fighters fighting this year, so it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. But yep, ultimately, so I'm going to be leaning towards Israel Adesanya to get it done by TKO. I think this should be a good fight. I definitely think Dricus is extremely dangerous, and if Izzy does not take him 100% seriously, he's getting finished. But, oh well, that's the love of the game. Also, I love how they actually put effort in the poster for once. This is actually a good poster. But yes, once again, this has been your boy Gomi. Please let me know what you think in the comment sections below. Go ahead and shit on me for liking Israel Adesanya, and I will defend myself as to why I do. But otherwise, bye-bye.